So guys, I will change my idea about knives every once in a while. TRM put out a knife I absolutely fell in love with, the TRM Shadow, but they have another knife that I really just wasn't that in love with. You might have guessed from some of the little hints that I'm dropping with the pictures you're seeing, but we're going to take a look at a knife that I owe an apology to. All right, guys, I have to apologize to TRM for never getting around to this knife. I kind of just didn't like it. So I had a chance to do a review of this knife a few years ago when my buddy first got one, when they first came out, and I turned it down because I just did not like the knife at the time. And it was because I was in that transition period where I was just getting around to more of the thinner EDC knives. And now I have returned back around. I've borrowed that knife from him, and I've carried this now for, at the time of filming, 2 days. You know, I made most of my impressions on the first day. So what are we looking at here? This is a very, very well done drop point TRM Atom. It's done in 20 CV with a nice blade profile. So what they've done here is they didn't use very thick blade stock, and that allowed them to transition that blade down. And that's one of the things that I'm kind of over, is the overly thick blade stock in knives. So it transitions down to a really nice edge, comes down and stays thin all the way to the tip. Really nice piercing point, great distal taper on this blade. This runs on thumb studs only, and the thumb studs are placed right where you want them in that cut for your lock bar cutout. And they're nice thumb studs. They're nice flat top thumb studs. It doesn't take much to deploy them. You can slow roll this. You can thumb flip it. It's done in a liner lock configuration, and it is running on bearings. They're in there. You can see them. It's running on bearings, and it is a nice, smooth, clean action. This one is in gray G10 on the handles in this liner lock, and it has got a deep carry pocket clip that is actually pretty comfortable. More nice points about this knife. It is radiused from tip all the way to heel. So you've got that downward leaning addressing the cut that I like. So this being not only just a drop point, but then having this, it puts it in a downward angle to the cut. It's really aggressive. It's really good if you're wanting to do a push cut like this and cut down into material. Finish on the blade is gorgeous, and this is very sharp. It's still the original factory edge. I do know that my buddy has carried this a lot. I did touch it just ever so slightly on a ceramic rod because it did have a couple little hiccups in the blade, but it brought it right back up. So I mean, all that is just basically a micro bevel. And then I've used it the last couple days to cut up a bunch of cardboard, and I've stropped it on a raw leather strop with no compound, and it has done really well. The handles really well shaped. This is a knife a lot like the Steingraber Lamina that is in, or the Lamia that's in. I can get way up on it like this. It doesn't have an actual finger choil per se, but it comes up and kind of abuts directly up against that. You can get way up on this. Tip on this, nice and thin and piercing, and with it being nice and straight for a good part of the transition of the blade. Nice blade shape. Really nice flat area for doing a lot of work. And then you have a little bit of belly, but it doesn't transition so hard. It's not like a really swept tip. So that means you can get way up on it and use the tip of the blade to do some cutout work, to do some small tasks if you want to cut around something. It is nice. And like I said, that tip comes down to a really thin piercing tip. This is just a beautiful showing from TRM. I loved the Shadow. Absolutely loved the Shadow. It was the best parts of a Spyderco, I want to say Spyderco native, and a Benchmade 940, like they had a love child. This just is simply a great knife on its own. It really doesn't have any of those things from other knives. I love the thumb studs on this. You can get way up on them and just flip them right open. But like I said, the action on it is nice and smooth enough that you can just slow roll it. And then they've just done a beautiful job with all of their markings and things like that. Now, there's a couple small things I don't like about the knife, and we'll, as always, there's some things that I have found, and we'll talk about those right after you guys hear from Coffee Brand Coffee, this channel sponsor.
No one likes to watch ads in the middle of a video. I don't like putting them in, but I do know that I gotta support what I do here, so I partnered with companies that I know I can trust. And today's sponsor is Coffee Brand Coffee. They're delivering quality coffee, freshly roasted on demand, ground to order and delivered to your door, and they're not doing anything political, so you don't have to worry about a company that you're supporting that is supporting causes that you might not agree with, because they don't support any causes. They just simply take the money and put it back into making a better product. So I would appreciate if you both support their new small business and my channel by checking out Coffee Brand Coffee and looking at their offerings. Use the link below and my coupon code Crazy Sharp on their website. It's Crazy Sharp, all one word, capital C, capital S. Let's get back to this.
So there's like three things, just three little things that I don't like about the knife. It's another one of those knives that is just a little bit thinner than I would want it. I wish it was a little bit thicker. It has a tendency to kind of want to roll out. I can adjust on that and get way up on it and adjust. It's not too thin that I can't. But there are times that knives like that, when they're too thin, they kind of just roll out of the alignment of the cut. You can see how it's in my hand like that. When I grab down on it naturally, I have to readjust, and it's not as comfortable as I would want it. But as long as I'm conscious of it, not a big deal. The jimping on the lock bar, I could do without jimping on the lock bar. There's really good access. You didn't need to jimp it. You could have just left it plain. That kind of does, you can kind of feel that. When you're up in that, you can kind of feel that. I don't necessarily like how that feels. And it's more aggressive than it needs to be. You've got really good, really good access to the lock bar. There's no real need for it. And it's nice and deep. And like I said, that's where your thumb studs sit. So you're not giving up anything if you had just left that unjumped. And then the final thing is, I'm not such a big fan of the pocket clip. It definitely moves a little bit. Sorry about that. My daughter came out to give me news that she just finished her psychology class doing college psych. What I was saying, pocket clip definitely moves. And it's not like it's not milled in there, that it couldn't have, it's just the pocket clip itself. It's not as strong as it could have been. It just flexes, and you can feel that. And it doesn't take much. I can feel it when I grab the knife to deploy it. It doesn't take much to do that. So that would be the only thing I could think of is they could have easily done this as a reversible pocket clip. You know what I'm saying? Like that screw hole's in the right spot. They could have just milled that spot out and then just put a plate in there, and then you could have had a reversible pocket clip on this. So that would be the only other thing. And that's not really a negative. So at any rate, guys, it's a great knife. I absolutely love it. It cuts great. We'll have a full review video of this. I know I'm a little late to the party on this, but I just thought I owed this knife an apology and an actual review. So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, send you out about your day.
So yeah, like I said in the intro and like I said in the body of the video, this is absolutely an amazing knife, and I just kind of passed on it when I shouldn't have. I had a good chance of doing a video about this knife when it was brand new, basically. It had just come out. This was one of the first ones that hit the market. They were hard to get. They still are hard to get. So yeah, every once in a while, your ideas about things change over time, and I definitely am in a different place with knives now than I was when I first saw this. But like I said, fell in love with the Shadow the second I saw it. This, not as much, but I absolutely love it now. So guys, you want to support the channel, give the videos a thumbs up or give them a thumbs down. It doesn't matter, but tell me why if you don't like them. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel financially, a lot of ways you can do it. I'm pretty sure I put a Coffee Brand Coffee ad in. I'm filming this well after I filmed the rest of the video. That is one of the ways. There's a link down below. You can use that. It saves you at checkout with Coffee Brand Coffee, supports the channel. They are a channel sponsor. I also have got Tempered Trail, who is a channel sponsor. They have a coupon code of Crazy Sharp, saves you 5% at checkout. Nathan is doing a bunch of stuff over there. He's doing hand sewn wallets, kilties, and the best laces you're going to find on outdoor shoes ever, anywhere in the world. Rosecraft Knives and Ferrum Forge Knife Works have a coupon code on their websites for me that is Crazy Sharp, all one word. You can use that at checkout, saves you 5%. I also have an Amazon store down below. Take that link, paint it to your browser. Use it for any Amazon shopping you're going to do. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm sorry. It doesn't cost you anything at checkout. And it supports the channel. It makes Jeff Bezos pay me a little bit. You don't even have to put on pants. The preferred way, though, is I have a membership. I can give you a benefit there. I have got a tier-based membership. Everyone gets early access to videos. Everyone gets exclusive content when I do it. Everyone has access to the Gilded server. Baseline and Premium guys are entered into giveaways I do on the Gilded server, and the Premium guys have access to a sharpening tutorial series here on YouTube behind the paywall. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.